fact, we spoke with Gunjan Shah, who's the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Bata India, to understand the implications of this move for Bata, the GST impact. Listen in to a slice of that conversation.
My first question coming to you is, the core of the proposed GST reform is to now simplify the existing four-tier GST structure, and this will be taking into consideration two main slabs, which is 5% and 18%. What would this actually mean for the footwear industry? Because the sector currently, if I'm not mistaken, is under a dual rate structure, 12% for footwear priced below 1,000 and 18% for those above 1,000. How are you looking at this move?
Okay, good morning and good morning, Hiral, and good morning to the viewers. It's a pleasure always to be here on NDTV Profit. No, I think it's a very welcome announcement that the Prime Minister has made on the Independence Day speech, and I think it's in the overall ambit of overhauling the entire GST reforms, as proverbially being called as GST 2.0, and simplification both from a process point of view as well as in terms of the rate structures. From a footwear perspective, I think it is very much needed. The middle and mass consumers have been facing the pressure, especially post-COVID over the last about 3 years or so. And I think this will only aid their recovery that we have started seeing in terms of their consumption. Just to bring you to a little more context, right? About 3 years back was when the GST rate was changed for footwear from 5 to 12, and that did impact significantly the industry's volume, especially less than 1,000. Less than 1,000 rupees is almost 80 to 85% of the footwear sector business. So not so much for Bata, but still a pretty large amount for the overall sector, and therefore I think should have overall a positive effect.
Okay, so just trying to understand, the proposal is to reduce the GST rate on footwear priced below 1,000 to a flat 5%. Now, is this a major positive for Bata as well? Because around 40% from our understanding comes from this price segment for a Bata. So how are you looking at this aspect?
Yeah. Actually, I'll try and give you a context. Before the GST went up from 5 to 12, it was contributing to roughly about 47% for Bata. It has come down, right? And while the rest of the premium categories have grown, but this segment and therefore this set of consumers, which are large in terms of volumes, right, have obviously got impacted and therefore should get significantly reversed back. So I think it has dropped by almost 10 percentage points from a contribution perspective. And hopefully we will want to not only pass on these benefits, because this also aids the initiative that we are trying to do to recover this entire segment and aid these consumers by providing value to consumers. So there is a significant effort that we are already doing. This will aid us in trying to pass on value to consumers.
Absolutely. So would it be right to say that, Bata, being an organized player, will be better equipped to navigate the GST framework, leverage the lower prices, and probably gain back that market share that was lost as well?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't want to comment on the rest of the industry, etc. But we are obviously looking forward to it. I think obviously being organized, being the largest player in the industry, etc., we should be able to manage this and navigate this well. We will await formal notification, etc. on this. I would also want to, in this context, Hiral also mention that the apparel industry has actually a dual rate structure, which is 5 and 12. And therefore, there is no reason why, if that is essential, footwear is as essential, in fact more so, and therefore should be also looked at in the same context, right? And therefore see whether we can synchronize the GST structure for both apparel and footwear.
Okay, so when you talk about the footwear industry as well currently, the moment the rates are slashed and it comes into the anticipated range that everyone is looking at, what are the challenges that Bata will be able to set aside and move forward with, and where do you see the benefits coming in? In what segments do you think you will be able to see gains coming in?
No, I think excellent question. See, we obviously are, we would like to continue positioning ourselves as the footwear of choice for the entire family, right? So whether it's the husband, whether it's the wife, whether it's the daughter, or whether it's the kid, right? So, and we provide options all across. Now, across all these categories, right? And whether it's casual, whether it's dress, whether it's sneakers, whether it's open footwear, We have price ranges that range between, let's say, for example, below 500 right up to.
And you're looking at premiumization in terms of your portfolio as well. Now, the GST cut would probably align perfectly with this kind of a strategy. It directly supports the efforts to drive volume-led growth for value for money. So is that going to be your priority as well, where you will look at volume versus value?
Yeah. And I think last year we saw first time volume growth post-COVID, and I think we will only want to push ahead. We have been accentuating our entire value proposition all across. And one classic example of that, Hiral, is that we've just launched our Victoria Ballerina collection across all the 1300 stores. Right, and it's been a great hit as of now, and it's all priced below 999, right? And it's a great value to consumers. That's what we are getting to hear from various consumers across our store network. So, I mean, the GST piece is another leg in this entire journey, which is to drive basically value proposition to consumer, providing them great style and comfort in the same breath.
Okay, so okay, let's clarify this a little bit more. Value for money products, growing premium brands like Hush Puppies, Floats, Power. So, I mean, the balance between these two seems different in terms of strategies. So what is that long-term vision going to be for each brand in your portfolio then?
Right. So, see, for every brand, it's got a specific space in a target consumer segment, right? So they will have a differential strategy, right? So, for example, in Hush Puppies, it operates in a price point which is, let's say, for example, at around 4,000 plus, right? Whereas, let's say, Floats operates in the price point which is about 1,000 to 2,000. Right now, there are different consumer segments from a usage occasion. So it's not one, it's not like one solution fits all. It's customized to each of our consumer segments and the brand or category proposition that we have. But as I said, most of these brands, whether it's Power, whether it's Floats, whether it is, Bata, whether it is basically, let's say, for example, men's dress or even ladies casual, all of them have price points and products which are there in the range of 1,000 plus or minus. And therefore, we will want to make sure that that's where we are trying to accentuate. Ballerina collection is one example of it, where we want to accentuate the value proposition, and the GST rate cut will only aid that process.
Okay. And very lastly, one aspect that probably, the street thinks that Bata is missing, where peers are doing it differently, is focusing on premiumization, which you already mentioned that you are looking at as well. Online presence of peers is much better than that of Bata, is the read on the street. Anything that you're looking at from an online perspective?
Actually, we've made significant progress and inroads into online, right? It's now more than double-digit contribution to our business. It's been a fastest growing business channel for...
सोचना बंद, एक्शन सोच के क्या मिलेगा भाई? स्मार्ट ट्रेडर प्लान वैसे ही एक नो ब्रेनर है. 699 per year.
Also, we are also incidentally the largest player in terms of omni-channel, right? So our ability to provide great consumer satisfaction from people to stores, getting products delivered directly at their home, has been extremely well accepted. It is mid-single-digit contribution to our store turnovers, and it is spread all across the entire 2,000 store network of us. So I think we have made great progress. There are areas where we can do even better on this, right? Our entire initiative of Bata.com has been basically spearheading this entire piece. We are now synchronized this whole platform all across, and we are wanting to make sure that we have niche micro sites that target consumers for specific brands and categories. And that should take us even further, this journey that we have already made progress on.
Okay. So, Gunjan, very lastly, I wouldn't comment in terms of the way the revenues are panning out, but if I have to look at the operating profitability, the margins, all of that, I think one of the best years you saw in terms of operating margins was back then in 2020. Likewise, even if you see from a profitability perspective, that was one of the best years apart from this year as well. So, from here on, what's that vision that a Bata has if you have to look at the next 2 to 3 years?
Okay. We are and would like to be the footwear of choice for the entire family, right, including yours. And we would like to make sure that this entire journey is accompanied by innovation, by expansion, as well as great consumer experience. And all of this hopefully combines to basically profitable growth and improvement in the metrics that you talked about.